back to Nini's Texas Kitchen. Tonight we're gonna make homemade buffalo chicken pizza. So I'm gonna show you how I make my pizza dough, and then once we come back we'll show you how to get everything else ready to go on it, and then we'll bake them. So first thing you do is you need to get a big mixing bowl. If you want to use like a stand mixer, you can, but I usually make my dough by hand now. So I need 3 cups of flour, and I have that here. This other flour will be for when I sprinkle some on the island here. You need 1 1/8 cup of warm water. You need 1 1/2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt, 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast or 1 packet, and 1/2 cup of oil. Cooking oil like canola or vegetable or corn oil or something like that. So I've got my 3 cups of flour in here already, and as you can see I have made a little center little spot in the center where I've divided it out with my fingers like that. So when you do dough like this by hand, the best way to do it is to take your salt and put it on one side of the bowl like so. Salt can inhibit the rise of the yeast, so that's why you want to do them in separate areas. So the next part is the sugar, and I'm going to put it on the opposite side of the bowl. And I'm going to put my yeast next to it, over here on that side. Now, I'm going to take my oil, I'm going to pour it in the center in the little well that I dug out, like so. It's okay if it runs out a little bit. Then you're going to mix your water in. Then take your fingers and just start to mix it. And it's going to be really wet dough at first. And you just mix it all up by hand, and it'll form a dough ball like so. So it's okay to knead it in the bowl for a few minutes. And then you want to take just a little bit of flour and sprinkle it around on your surface that you're going to work your dough on. Keep your bowl, you're going to knead it. Turn your dough out onto your floured surface and knead it. And you want to knead it until it's smooth and stretchy. And it doesn't take that long, especially for a more moist dough like this. Maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes max. Just want to get it stretching. If you need some more flour, grab some more. But you got to get your gluten stretchy on this dough, because that's how it'll be stretchy enough for the yeast to make it rise. Otherwise it'll be bound up where it won't rise. And it's getting there. It's almost ready. A little more flour, just so I can stretch it good, like so. Starting to get smooth. Pretty good. All right. So it's pretty smooth, and you can see how stretchy it is. Okay. Now, put it back in my bowl. And I'm gonna cover it with some plastic wrap. Like so. Just make sure you seal it good. You don't want air getting to it and making a film, like a film over the top, and then it won't rise as good. Okay. All right, so now I've got it covered. I have my oven on to the proof setting for rising. I'm gonna put it on the bottom shelf. You want it to about double in size. So I'm gonna set my timer for 45 minutes and check it when the 45 minutes is done. Then after that, we'll shape it, let it rise one more time. So we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, y'all, our dough is finished rising. So now I've got my flour ready and my rolling pin. I don't do the whole toss it up in the air thing because I've never done that and I don't want to start now. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna divide it because we're gonna do kind of like a medium thin crust, and I'm gonna have two. So what you do is you turn it out onto your flour, kind of push the edges out like so, to kind of a round shape. I've already got my two pizza pans sprayed down with nonstick cooking spray. And then I'm just gonna roll this out. And then stick it on here. To the edges, like so. And kind of push it up on the edge a little bit to make your crust like this. If you like a thick crust, you can do this recipe and just make one pizza out of it and it'll be a thicker crust, but we like ours a little bit thinner. So there's the first one, and then I'll do the second one. Just roll it out a little bit. Now, now what I'm going to do is set them over here on top of the stove. And I'm going to set them away. My vent's over here, so I'm going to set them away just a little bit. And I'm going to turn my oven on to bake. And I'm going to set it at 400 and let it start heating up. So I'm going to let them rise at that higher temperature for about 30 minutes. And while I'm letting them rise, I'm gonna get my chicken ready. So all I've got here is 2 boneless, skinless chicken thighs that I've cut up into cube-sized pieces. And then I have about a tablespoon of cooking oil in my Instapot, and I'm gonna just do it on saute. So I go ahead and turn it on to my saute setting and let it start getting hot. Put my chicken pieces in like so. Rinse the chicken off your And just a little salt and pepper. Now, I'll get out of my still hot safe spatulas, and I'll just let this cook and coat it all in the salt and pepper and oil in here real good. And it'll sear. And since they're cut up so small, it'll only take about 5 to 8 minutes for them to cook through enough for them to be ready to put on our pizzas when we assemble them. And the other stuff that I put on my pizzas is I use buffalo sauce is your sauce instead of pizza sauce. And then just the regular mozzarella cheese. And then on one of them I usually put banana peppers, and on the other one I leave it off. So when we get ready to assemble, I'll show you how I do all that. You can also take this same recipe and make a barbecue chicken pizza and just use barbecue sauce instead of buffalo sauce as your pizza sauce. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Hey y'all, our pizza dough is done rising. So now we're gonna assemble the pizzas and bake them. So I have my oven set to 400 degrees and it's already heated up. So now I take my buffalo sauce and I just pour it on. I have just enough for 2 pizzas. Then I just take a spoon, the back of the spoon, and I spread it around like so, across my dough. And you can put on as much sauce or as little sauce as you want. Go. Now, I do my cheese next. Some people might like to do their toppings and then their cheese, but I like to do my cheese and then my toppings. So, I'm just gonna sprinkle my cheese all over the top. It's just mozzarella. And I bought the pre-shredded, so I won't have to shred it myself. You can put as little or as much cheese as you like. I like a good bit, but not overwhelming with the amount of cheese. And then I put my chicken. It took about 8 minutes, I guess, to cook this chicken all the way through. I just divide it up to where it's basically 1 thigh per pizza. And you can do breasts if you want. We just got thighs, so that's what I'm putting on them. And then this one I'm gonna put my banana peppers on. And these are some banana peppers that I grew in my garden last year and canned them myself to preserve them. Like so, I got like quite a few. So I'm putting quite a few. And then I'll put it in the oven in a minute once I'm done assembling this next one. This one is gonna have everything except it's not gonna have the banana peppers. I like to do one of each. As you can always put the banana peppers on the side if you wanted some. Good. And the chicken. Spread it out pretty good. So you get some on every piece. That's it. Now, we're gonna stick it in the oven. And it takes about 20 minutes. we'll be back in about 20 minutes. Okay, y'all, our pizza's ready. So I took it out of the oven and I'll let it sit here for just a couple minutes to cool down. And this is the one with the banana peppers, and this is the one that don't have banana peppers. So as you can see, it's a good crust. It's nice and thin. Now, let's give it a try. That's perfect. If you like my video, making homemade buffalo chicken pizza, please like it, share it with others, subscribe to my channel. Please go back and watch my other videos. I really appreciate all you guys watching. We'll see y'all next time in Nini's Texas Kitchen.